Welcome to the Holy Yogi, where we help you find the spiritual guru inside of you. Hello, beautiful. Hello, handsome. How you doing today? And if no one has told you today that they love you, let me be the first. I love each and every single one of you because love makes the world go round and round and round. And truly, love is the greatest medicine of them all. And simply put, ladies and gentlemen, love it always wins. So, before I begin our message for today, this is what I need you to do. I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and ding, 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 hit that notification bell. So each and every single day, we can give you messages on how you can live heaven right here on earth. Okay, we are celebrating Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa, everybody. I hope you're enjoying the Kwanzaa season. We are on our third day of Kwanzaa, which is a form of African spirituality. It is a Black people's holiday in America. African Americans and Africans of the diaspora, anybody that is of African descent, or anybody all over the world. You don't have to be of African descent. If you want to celebrate Kwanzaa, please do. We welcome you. It's for everybody. But this particular holiday was designed for us because, unfortunately, during slavery, even our religion and our culture was taken away from us, that we had to comprise our own holiday in America in order to celebrate ourselves. So today we're celebrating the third day of Kwanzaa. And the third day of Kwanzaa in 2021 is Ujima. And Ujima is collective work and responsibility. That's a big one. Collective work and responsibility. So I want you to come in a little bit closer. I want you to really get this, because, as I was preparing to do this today, I don't even know how it happened. I'm always scrolling through. I don't even know how it happened because I'd already been on Instagram. But it's so clear. I always believe that the universe, is always talking to me, because I always want to give you something. If I'm talking about Ujima, if I'm talking about collective work and responsibility, I had already decided that, that word responsibility is so important for us as African Americans. And I want to hone on to that. And what I want to add to that is also accountability. Responsibility and accountability. Now, I'm a key proponent of that in life in general, okay? And I know that when I was on my road to become a millionaire, that's the one thing I really got when I became responsible for my life. When I became accountable for everything that was going on in my life, okay, I had a if it's to be up to me mentality. So if things were going right in my life, I took responsibility for it. And if things were going really horrific in my life, I took responsibility for it. Because when you take responsibility, you're in a powerful position of changing the circumstance. Once you play the victim blame shame game and blame everybody else out there for what's going on in your life, that leaves you powerless. Changes can't happen because, once again, it's his fault, it's the weather's fault, it's the government's fault, it's my husband's fault, it's my kid's fault, it's my wife's fault, okay? So when it's everybody else's fault, with people, to err is to be human, right? Are going to make mistakes, are unpredictable majority of the time, well, that leaves you in a precarious situation. You've got to control your situation at hand. And when you're in controlling situation, you are taking responsibility and you're making yourself accountable. What part did you play in those circumstances? So back to collective work and responsibility in this hysterical video, because what I was going to talk about today, the three areas that African Americans really need to focus on is the spiritual area, is the health area, and in the wealth area. So I'm going to start with the spiritual area because it goes back to this video I just watch that went viral, which was ironic. I shared it with my son, and he tells me, oh, that was my favorite video 2 days ago. And it was hysterical, but at the same time, you know, we laugh to keep from crying. At the same time, it's reflective of what I'm going to talk about right now. But let me share the video. I hope you can go to Instagram, and I don't even know what to tell you. I think it's in, I think it's Bossip. I think it was Bossip. But anyway, these wonderful African Americans are in their black church, sitting down, listen to the sermon of the day from their one. Now keep in mind, we're talking about Jesus. And who is Jesus? Jesus is love, peace, joy, and happiness. Nonviolent, you know, the whole bit, okay? Yeah, I shouldn't have to explain that to you, okay? All of you, a lot of you are Christians out there, okay? I shouldn't have to explain this to you, but I'm trying to set you up for what happened. So they're just sitting there quietly, and the pastors, you know, giving the message for the day at the pulpit, etc. Then all of a sudden, a brother jumps up and starts swinging at another brother, and it's going down. I mean, they are in a major fist fight right there in the front row of the church. And I'm like, where's Jesus in all of this? You know, where's the love in all of this? I mean, but it's indicative of what I want to share with you, my brothers and sisters out there. We suffer, and spirituality has to deal with emotional stability, mental stability, and we suffer from post-traumatic slavery syndrome. Dr. Joy DeGory, please look her up. She diagnosed it, and she is qualified. She has a PhD in psychology. She is very much qualified, and she took the time out as a black woman. And that's what I recommend for anybody. If you have to get any psychological advice, you need to get it from your own, because your situation is unique and particular unto yourself. There's no way in God's earth that you can study from these major universities psychology or psychiatry. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. She was a famous African American psychiatrist, but she had to get another PhD outside of what she was doing in order to help us heal ourselves of white supremacy syndrome. But anyway, she, diagnosed us with that. And I know I'll be the first to raise my hand, suffer from that. And that is why I do some serious spiritual work. And in a nutshell, what I really want to hit home to in that area, that's why we suffer disproportionately from mental health issues, depression, bipolar issues, schizophrenia. My sister suffered from it extremely. God rest her soul. And that's one of the main reasons why she is not here, because her mental disease transcended into her body, and she developed breast cancer, which led to bone cancer, which led to her demise in her early 50s. Matter of fact, she would have been 60 years of age this year. And next year. And because she's 6 years older than me, that's why I'm 55 this year. But the key thing that I really want to hone on into, that we got to get, if anything mental is going on inside of you, it is transcended, that you're fractured in the spiritual soul arena, because that's where it really truly begins. And we have to get into the spirituality of things and learning to become emotionally stable, emotionally independent, in order for us to be able to handle the emotional and mental dysfunctionality. This is why we stand up in the middle of our Christian church and we are boxing it out with someone because of what someone said or did. We have such fractured ego. I can remember the great African historian, Dr. John Henry Clark, and he said, Black people suffer from ego starvation. Now, if you understand ego, ego means easing God out of the situation. Okay? And when you're easing God out of the situation, that's when all the illusions come up. That's why we as African Americans and Black people, we marinate in jealousy, in fear, and anger, and envy, and hate. This is why we suffer disproportionately from Black on Black violence. We suffer from obesity, all these other, because it starts in the spiritual realm. I don't care what every other, that's why we got to start there first. We got to heal our spirit first and foremost. Once we heal our spirit, we'll heal every aspect of our lives. So I said it today, collective work and responsibility. We got to come together collectively as a unit together and work on our psychology specifically designed for us. Now, I'm sure if you're an African American hearing me right now, you probably never heard of post-traumatic slavery syndrome. That's a problem right there. Because it doesn't get mainstream press, because mainstream press isn't Black. It is white supremacist, okay? It is white, manipulated, and controlled. I'm not here to, let me make myself very clear. I'm not here to be radical. I'm not here to be emotional. I'm not here to fuss and fight about this. What I'm here to do is tell you the truth. We need to get back into our own spirituality. That's why I encourage you to get back into your African spirituality. Because when you understand your African spirituality, like collective work and responsibility and Ujima, this would not happen if we followed the tradition of our ancient African spirituality. It's like even Kemetic ancient African spirituality that deals with the ancient gods and goddesses, the Neterus of Ma'at and Asar, Aset, Heru, Nefet, all of the great gods and goddesses, and practice the morals and values of those times, then we would feel powerful. We would feel significant. But as long as we're practicing someone else's religion and philosophy, we really don't feel powerful. We really feel enslaved. And that's why we're enslaved to our emotions. We're enslaved to our mental breakdowns, because we don't see ourselves as kings and queens, and more importantly, as gods and goddesses. When we understand that God is not outside of ourselves, God is not up there in heaven. When we fully understand that we are gods and goddesses, we would not stoop to such animalistic levels of violence and fussing and fighting over. I promise you, it was something really trivial. I promise you. So I say that to say in the spiritual realm, that is one area where we need to heal. We need to come together and create and design, which has already been done. Like I said, post-traumatic slavery syndrome was designed by Dr. Joy DeGroy. And please go get her book. I think what I'm going to do is leave the link below and start doing your research. Start taking her classes. She's got workshops and classes to help you heal your spirit, your mind, okay? Come counsel with me or other. It doesn't have to necessarily be with me. There are tons. Queen Afua, Dr. Jewel Pukram. I'm trying to think of some wonderful, African it's another brother online that I think is very good too, that really specialize in African spirituality. So that's the more of this conversation. I think you really need to tap into African spirituality, especially if you're Black and of African descent, because that's your true nature. That's your true spirituality. There is no misconception. And more importantly, I want you to get this and understand this. All other religions out there manifested and came about through African spirituality. Remember, civilization began in Africa first, called Kemet, the land of the Black, meaning that Black people were the first people. That's what's causing so much confusion. That's what's causing so much bipolar activity and schizophrenic nature. Tap into my sister a little bit, the bipolar nature, bless her heart. But my sister truly wanted desperately to be white. Honestly, she really, sad to say, did not love herself, because in America, quite frankly, I understand. To be Black in America was to have a hard, challenging life according to all the propagandized information that was constantly being perpetuated and brainwashed in her mind, mine, and everybody else. Trust me, that was the main reason why I got into spirituality, to save my spirit. Because what? We're spiritual beings first, having a human experience. This is kind of long. I see 17 minutes. And I want you to hang in there, because I really want you to get this, because, this is really important. Some people, celebrate these holidays for the trivial fluff nature of it. But I really want you to free yourself, because that's why I'm so free. That's why I'm living heaven here on earth, because I know who I am. I know I'm a goddess made manifest, in the flesh, So this is what I want you to do. I want you to really focus on doing that, because if we come together on one accord and study and understand African spirituality, and then we collectively come together and then we work together to heal each other, then mental wellness, week, month, year, day, will be unnecessary, because we will be healed as a people. We got to get back to loving ourselves, hugging, kissing, praising in a positive fashion ourselves, and working towards the betterment of each other. And that's what I do every single day. So we discussed the spirituality. Now let's tap into the health arena. Once again, we're looking outside of ourselves for mainstream society that is controlled, that is directed and orchestrated by white people in America, by white people who are descendant of slave masters. Now, I don't get into particulars. They could be doing it subconsciously and they could be doing it consciously. But we're very clear that the order and agenda in America is truly about white supremacy, and that white remains supreme. So you have to understand, everything in the health arena, I'm a naturopathic doctor. Let me preface the conversation with that. A traditional naturopathic doctor. Okay. And the reality of the situation is, all medication and drugs, 99% of them are designed and tested and scientifically researched on white people first and foremost. And if it works for us, you're lucky, okay? Now, of course, I have European blood, and probably a lot of black people have European blood. And regardless of that, it's not designed for us. And let me talk to my sisters out there. Let me talk to my brothers out there. Let's be very clear. When you go get your hair cut, okay, or you divas go out there and get your, your weaves or whatever hairstyle that you are getting, your silk press, okay, whatever you're getting done, who do you go to? You go to your folks first and foremost. Now, that is a trivial thing compared to your health. You do not go to specifically a black doctor that focuses on your health. Now, it's a mixed bag, because unfortunately a lot of black doctors are learning from a white system as far as how to heal the body. But myself personally, after studying a lot of the Europeanized trainings and teaching on natural healing, I then focused on us. I focused on African herbs and the like, holistic modalities in order to heal ourselves, and studied underneath majority of my mentors and guides were African American or of the African diaspora healers. Okay. And so I learned so much to the point where I devised my own program specifically for black people, but can be utilized by all people of color. Because everybody comes from the first mother who was African. So it will benefit everybody else. But I did it specifically for us. Because it was really interesting. I remember I had invited Christian Northup, MD, beautiful white woman, she was specialized in gynecology and women health issues, and wrote several books about it, and I invited her to Uterine Fibroid Conference with Queen Afua and also Dr. Jewel Pookrum. Oh, it was fabulous event. I just absolutely loved it. And in a nutshell, she respectfully sent me a letter and declined. You know what she said? Honestly, and I do appreciate it. I was not offended whatsoever. But she honestly said that as far as uterine fibroids were concerned, she had no true experience in helping heal that, and specifically for black women. And she felt as though she would be disingenuous as far as coming to discuss a topic that she truly did not have any experience or knowledge about how to heal this disease among our people. Well, here we go back to collective work and responsibility. That's our issue. And luckily, Dr. Jewel Pookrum, Dr. Laila Africa, Dr. Goss, Queen Afua, and a lot of, including myself, Dr. Ilan Bomani, all of us have worked towards, and I used to use that Dr. by Iris Latem, my baby. I just got finished watching an awesome video where he was sharing, speaking about uterine fibroids. Interesting. So I'm saying everything comes up for a reason. I pray that you're still watching this. And if you are, you really truly want to heal yourself, and you really truly want to practice the principles of Kwanzaa. But in a nutshell, all of us have gotten together and in our own special, back to Iris Latem. I just watched a video. See how coincidental this is. And he was showing how to make this fabulous juice made from pineapple, aloe vera, and okra. And in a nutshell, okra heals and breaks up uterine fibroids and releases them out the body naturally. Now, was it a coincidence that I watched that? Nope. It's our vibrational frequency energizing together. Because normally I don't watch. He's been on several times and I've been busy, I've had to work. But my spirit said, watch this. Because I was supposed to be here doing this video. But spirit said, no, watch this. I'm so glad I did. Because I learned a fabulous new recipe on how to heal uterine fibroids. And guess what, divas? After, and gentlemen too, don't get me wrong, it helps with fertility and increase semen production in men. Very much, and I'm talking about okra, very much a natural aphrodisiac also. And also okra is very good, and I used it during a time that I naturally delivered both of my babies at home. It's great for childbirth, and that baby slides on through. And let me tell you right now, it worked, especially for my second one, okay? He came out within 3 hours, okay? All right? But anyway, that's what I want you to get, is that we are not going to heal. It's trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. It's not going to fit. Trying to utilize someone else's health system, okay? I don't want to discuss if it's wrong or if it's right or anything of that nature. The case in point is we need to start coming together. Once again, collectively coming together and healing ourselves with our own remedies. Because I always heard, and that's what made me passionate about this, because every time we suffer, once again, disproportionately from every major disease. I'm talking about obesity. I'm talking about high blood pressure. I'm talking about cancer. I'm talking about diabetes. Lord have mercy. My grandmother, bless her heart, I tried. She just wasn't ready in this lifetime to heal herself naturally of diabetes. She even had to have her leg amputated, but I honored her where she was at. Diabetes, we're talking about heart disease, okay? We're talking about AIDS. I mean, we are, we're always on the bottom of the totem pole. And you know what I always say? They don't know why. Well, I know why. And it's because of, back to that spirituality thing, the major key factor, I'm not going to keep it a secret, it is stress. It breaks down our immune system. And once it does that, we are susceptible to every disease that's out there. That's another video. But I just wanted you at least to fully grasp. That's the number one secret of why we disproportionately, because we disproportionately suffer from all the stresses in America also. Goes to wonder, right? Okay, so now we talked about that. So I want to make it clear that we got to come together as far as our health and know what? Heal ourselves. Do not depend on, once again, the doctor outside, the mainstream doctor outside, to heal us, or the hospitals, or the insurance company, HMOs, or the nurses, or the practitioners, or the nutritionists, Europeanized nutritionists. They don't know our bodies. Our physiological and anatomical makeup is different, ladies and gentlemen. No matter how they say that everybody's one and the same, no, we are not. Okay? So let's move on to the third one, okay? Collective work and responsibility. And that is our wealth. We're on the bottom of the economics totem pole, okay? Right? Bottom of the economic totem pole. We have the worst credit issues, okay? Worst savings. Worst investing. Worst opportunity for higher income employment, what I call living wage jobs at the bottom. and the smallest as far as creating true businesses beyond maybe 1 or 2 employees. Okay, we've got to get into the business once again of collectively working together to not only build our own businesses, but more importantly, support and patronize all the Black businesses that are out there, ladies and gentlemen. One of the next Kwanzaa principles is cooperative economics. Ujima, cooperative economics, Ujima. And we're going to talk a little bit further about that. But once again, taking responsibility. If we're not supporting each other's businesses, and let me tell you right now, it's been a very silent boycott, but it's been a boycott nonetheless. If we do not support each other's businesses, it's not going to get done, and our businesses shut down more than our white counterpart. When the whole P happened, I don't want to use it because the algorithms are out there, but you know what I mean. When that happened, majority of specifically the barbershops, and I can remember this one guy, this guy worked his buns off, and he was open like 24 hours. He had a barbershop where he was open 24 hours, and in 2 months, his business was shut down and closed and gone. Because, if we don't do it, and more importantly, we don't save money and prepare for the circumstances that happen, we're done for it. Okay? So I really want to encourage us to collectively be accountable, take responsibility, create these, and when you create a business, let me be clear. I think I talk about it during cooperative economics. I'll really get into that deeper then, because I really want to hone on into it, because we got to do better, ladies and gentlemen. The main reason why we're not at the next level, like I said, we have to, if it's to be at the next level, because number one, we're not creating really good professional businesses, number one, and doing the right thing to keep the foundation and structure on solid rock. And number two, we're not patronizing each other to help our businesses flourish, okay? But we're patronizing everybody else's business. No problem at all. And until we do come together and do a collective, cooperative economics, we will surely, well, we're failing. And so let's get together and let's focus on doing in all 3 of those areas. To the point, I created Bomani Village Academy for all 3 areas. We have Bomani Buddha, we have Bomani Business, and we also have Bomani Body. Okay? Spirit, wealth, and health. And if you think about all of them transcend back to the other 2, going back to the spirit. Okay. Once we get that together, and we know we are gods and goddesses, it's not what we can't do, is what can we not do, is the attitude. We can accomplish the world, because when you're God, you're omnipotent, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-prosperous, and in abundance. There's no lack. There is no limitation when you truly get who you really are, okay? So let's join forces. I'm not going to apologize, because I was about to do that this is long. Love yourself enough to know, to become woke in these areas. And we've got to do it collectively, and we got to do it responsibly. One of the key things I never forget, I was doing a radio show, and I'm on the level of talking about the economics of it all. I'll never forget this as long as I live. This white guys, I was doing this radio show, and I could not get mad at him. because he was speaking the truth. He said, white people are rich. Black people look rich. That's why when we talk about Ujima, Ujima. When we talk about Ujima, Ujima is what we're talking about today, collective work responsibility. But when we talk about Ujima, I think that may be a half an hour, because I really want us to really get the business of cooperative economics. We have got to come together. Because if you got a job, you are just making your boss rich. And I don't care if you're in the NBA. I never forget, I saw Draymond Green complaining that he didn't want to work on Christmas, and basically begging the boss to give him a day off. That's not power. You gotta own your own to dictate your financial destiny too. Okay, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this fabulous message. I want you to comment below and tell us what collective work and responsibility means to you and what you're going to celebrate in 2022. You see, I'm already being proactive. I'm coming out with these educational programs to bring that out to you in 2022 so we can all come together, because I realized I couldn't focus on just one area. I had to cover the trajectory. That's like we say, you know it as Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. She had to leave the women out. Woo. Or Mother, Father, Father, God. It's always a trilogy. So I knew I had to do all three of those in order to bring that individual into balance. Because if you psychologically have a poverty consciousness, you're not going to be able to create the wealth. If you psychologically have the mental illusion of being inferior and less than, and feeling stressed out about the racism that you experience in America, you're going to have issues. Why most people have high blood pressure in America? Like I said, we'll talk about it further. That's where the stress is coming from. But when you got your spirit on, nothing outside of you can do you any harm. You're not tripping, because you know it's about them and not about you. And you wouldn't even be tripping. Like I said, if that brother had his head together that started swinging first, he wouldn't even went there. He would just do whatever was going down, that other person had a problem. That's their issue. And that he was going to be like Jesus would do. He would turn the other cheek. All right, I'm sorry. I'm still talking, okay? Peace, hetapu, namaste. Do me a favor. Have a fantastic, glorious Kwanzaa Ujima day. Bye-bye for now.